I mean, I don't know why I'd complain. I was out here at 7:30 making this nice little piece to chainsaw carve some walleye. I think it'd be a pretty happy little piece of wood when we're done. I mean, it'll be totally changed. I'm looking at this light though, and I don't think it's gonna work. I need to point that into the. It's gonna be too sunny, and I'm gonna shadow it real bad, carving it, and you're gonna be able to see what I'm doing anyway. So I think take this off there. I think I'll turn it to where you're looking in the woods. A little better for view. There we go. Okay, so what I have here is a piece of Scots pine. We're going to turn into a walleye. Let's see who we got here. Good morning. Glad you're here. How about that? Okay. Yeah, it looks all right. Heck yeah. Let's see. Hey, Dad, what's going on? Heck yeah. Yeah, I don't know what you think about that bottle idea I had. You take that half a broken bottle and you carve you another half a wood bottle and glue them together or something. I don't know. It's just trying to think outside the box. Oh well. But anyway, drinking a little coffee. Me my second cup. I'm running late, but I got up and drew this out, or cut this piece, and then drew it out, and had to make a couple pit stops along the way. And so now let's get some headphones on, and we'll start cutting some stuff. Chop, chop, fatty, chop, chop. Okay. I already had this one running, so you can see the whole thing? Yeah, you can see the whole thing. Anybody asks, it's a walleye. That's what it's going to be. Come on, baby, wake up. Look, it's got a mouth already. Anyway, whatever. It's on. out there pretty good. Hey, if anybody asks you guys why is he doing it the way he's doing it, just tell them, look, he's a rocket scientist. A scientist. I can't answer. Yeah. Okay. All right. Lie to him. Just lie to him. It's fine. No, don't lie to him. I don't want you to say. All right. Here, it's a bear-toothed mastodon. I don't know if you ever heard of anyone. I just made it up, so make it. It's about making something that nobody knows what it is. It's however it comes out. I mean, you have to accept it. Be sure to hit that like button, by the way. Boom. Out of there with that saw, so let me get the other one out. I let it run a little bit, so I don't know how to do. We'll see. Oh yeah, it's doing great. Yeah. Nice and sharp. So I think as I'm getting trickier anyway, maybe I'll just stick with that. I think that 16-inch bar, the chain is pretty well dull now anyway. Sharpened my carving bars there Wednesday, I think it was, and man, you could tell. I mean, they're cutting like knife and butter. Pretty good so far. Get the top fins dug out, just blocky. No hurry to curve it up or anything, but yeah, just gonna do what you can do. See all we got in here real quick. What's going on, Grumpy? Oh, shucks. No, I'm not a carpenter. Roger, Vindigo, Hannah, Matthew. What's going on, guys? Perry, what do you know, guys? Glad to see you. Carving Wizard, heck yeah. Glad to see you guys in there. No carpenter in here. I'm just an idiot. Oh, God. Alright, so that's like a basic outline. One thing I'm gonna have to do here is make a piece for this outside lower fin. And I've had to do that before. It's just the shape of the wood and how much wood you had there to work with. And maybe you could have made your fish smaller or something, but I don't really want to. It takes less time for me to make a piece there to stick there. Anyway, be sure and hit that like button. Appreciate you guys being in here. And so next I'm gonna go ahead and cut these fins, cut the backs of these out and dig them out. And I want this fish to be nice and fat. But that said, I'm going to go ahead and dig these pieces. And we'll also start the round here. Same thing down here, a little bit at a time. This piece is about 5 inches thick right here. And the reason for that is, anybody that knows anything about walleye, so their head kind of in the front swoops over, and their eyes are like at a 45-degree angle at about the top of their head. And we want to try to capture that as best we can, even though this is a one-sided piece. So use a thick piece. Not only that, digging this fin out, it'll give me plenty of room maybe to get about 1 inch of flare, 1/2 inch of flare, something sticking so it sticks out just a little bit. We'll see. Carried away because back in here I've got some screws, some 4-inch screws, but still that piece, especially up here the front piece, it's about 2 inches thick after I just cut get too carried away, I want to kind of dig this out, and then I'm going to start shaping this dude. But I get the fins down, and they go pretty quick. I mean, and I just enjoy doing them. Can you see the whole thing? Not really. There we go. That's a little better. All right. This particular fish I'm making for a couple. I used to have a place up in Lakeside, Ohio, and I walleye fished for years and years. I think I was up there for 12 years, and I'm a Coast Guard licensed captain, and I have my license in continuance because I just don't use it anymore. And when it came time to renew it for a second time, I didn't. Um, but it's hard to get, so you put it in a continuance. Um, that said, there's a couple up there. I made 4 of these last year, I think, for some people in the place where I used to be up there, and now another couple that wants one of them. So I'm gonna make it, and what it'll be. This is 39 inches, and it'll be on a 44-inch piece that'll look like a dead piece of wood, and it'll have their last name down below the fish. All right, but this is the hard. Really see me the way this is, trimming the tail. So I want you to imagine that you can see me trimming the tail. I'm gonna go ahead and kind of D-line this out, get an idea. I just want to put these lines in so I don't lose them. some shape, dig that fin out. I'm gonna take another piece out right through here, but I think I'm gonna cut my gill plate in because I kind of want to keep reference to that. Realistically, with that, I'm just drawing. I don't have any intentions of leaving that just like it is. But we'll see how it goes. Anyway, be sure and hit that like button. Appreciate you guys being here. This particular piece, I'm gonna have to add a piece anyway. I'll probably go ahead and cut my backside piece down and then trim this up and cut it off flush so I can make a piece to fit there. But it's gonna have to have a piece to go on there. Anyway, that's looking pretty good. Starting to curve it out and pretty cool. I love making these. These are fun. I don't get to do it enough, honestly. Let's see what we got here. 28 likes. Be sure to hit that like button. Hey, Roy, what's going on? Cheech, my old buddy, glad to see you. Heck yeah. Okay. Keep right on and rocking. That's about right though. I think I'm gonna leave it about that fat, but that means I gotta take a pretty considerable chunk out of here. I want to bring that gill plate out a little bit, like the fish is actually caught. A lot of times I'll flare that gill plate up. Let's see, we're getting up to a little too something. That's me. Okay, go figure. It's always me. Way the sun is hitting it. I wonder if I can turn it a little bit to try to take that off. Take the shadow away. So let's move it over here a little bit more, like that. Okay. Let's see how that looks. Getting close. Yeah, that'll be all right. Okay, kind of, sort of. Okay. Not too bad, not too good. Somewhere in the middle. Y'all can see it. That's the important part. All right, 31 likes, 144 watching. Hey, Littlefoot, what's going on, my man? Glad to see you. Heck yeah. Hey, Growing Mo Flower. What's up, buddy? Appreciate that. That's what we like to do. We like to make stuff. I like to make stuff like this, fish and stuff like that. But anyway, let me go ahead and next step, I'm going to take some out of here, thin this fish, thin him down through there. And he's got that nice, flat, angled look up. Eye would be about here, the way a walleye is supposed to look, because walleyes are typically looking up at a that. But when I make a piece that goes here, it'll probably be about like that. I'm guessing. But I actually think that ought to bend down to about here. So I'll change that out. Hey, Buggy. You trying to get out? Yeah. You guys need me to do anything to help you get out?
No, I'm good.
You can go that way?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, let me kick that saw out of the way.
You're okay.
All right. Hey,
What?
don't get me nothing to eat. I ate that leftover pizza and I feel like I'm gonna blow up.
Okay.
And I'm really hot. See what we got here, 37. Heck yeah. Hey, Jen, what's going on? Glad to see you guys. Matthew, heck yeah. All right. Can't see who else. Oh, hey, baby kisses. Good morning. Okay, I'll keep going with this guy. And yeah, I'm gonna thin these out real quick and then just be done with that portion until I can make that piece. Put some daggone knee pads on if I'm gonna keep doing that. I'm too old for this. Continue to shape that bottom, and that's a lot harder. I gotta get down, low to do it. It's just the way it is, but so it takes a little bit more work. And then I'll have to pencil this stuff back in and start cutting it in. Like cut the mouth in, know where we're gonna set the eyes at. But the shape is looking really good. I'm really happy with it. Let's see. Can you see the whole thing? Yeah, pretty much. Okay. enough, you know, some guy sitting there minding his own business, sitting on a couch, just trying to enjoy a cup of coffee. And by his unfortunateness, he's watching me. And his wife walks by and she sees all this sawdust going up in the air. Mind you, it's going from the ground up. And she says, "Oh, look, it's snowing there. It's snowing. What do you think about that, honey? It's snowing. It's May. It's like May the 11th or 12th or something like that. Oh, where's that guy at that it's snowing?" You know, he's like, "Go in there and make my breakfast, Ethel." No, I guarantee you they don't talk to him like that nowadays because they end up in divorce court. I think I'm going to kind of draw my dips and lines in my this back fin. I call it the armor fin because this dude here is meant to poke predators. Now, how many predators a walleye has, you know, I don't know. Maybe when they're little, but once they get bigger, there ain't nothing out there eating them. Only thing they're competing for is who eats the bait fish, and they're competing with the steelhead and the muskies and the bass and stuff like that. But ain't nobody eating each other, you know. We'll kind of go by this here and try to get these grooves dug out first. And we'll just kind of leave that one like that. And then let me draw some of this stuff back in. So the mouth is going to be actually come down like that, around like that, and that piece will go kind of like that. And then I think I'm going to give him, I'm at least going to dig in some. He's not going to have the teeth the walleye has, but I'm at least going to dig in some right there. And of course this corner needs to go. And yeah, go from there. And then eye lines up with the, that'd be right about, the eye would be right about there. And so we'll dig a plate for that eye. We'll kind of dig it out. We'll see how it goes. With the, then we'll have to get more detail as we get here. I'll go in the house and get one because I got a bunch of these. I got 4 or 5 of these that are mounted. So as I get to that point, I'll just run in the house real quick and get one. But anyway, that's what we got. Let's put that baby on there a little closer. Okay. All right. So start with those fins. Thickest piece out in the bark's here, but by the time I get done, the bark's all going to be gone. down lower and clean that up eventually. But for now, I might as well finish on what I can do at this height. And I feel pretty good about this bottom. I mean, it could take, I guess, right here, and right here. I'd like to see a little more curve come out of that. think I'm gonna lower that down to clean these up a little better. Because there's still like bark layers on top of them and stuff. But I think this dude's looking pretty cool. It's gonna be I think it's gonna be the best walleye I've done so far. And yeah, I've done a good number of them now, but gee, minis, I'm hot. I'll tell you that. I think that's what I get for eating before I come out here and work hard, more than likely. But let's see what we got here. Heck yeah, 48 watts. Let's see what we got. Baby kisses. Roger Bendy Gohana, good friend. He said that's my favorite live. Awesome, buddy. I'm glad to see that. Hey, Jen, Opath, what's going on, you schmuck? Heck yeah. All right. Let me lower this thing down a little bit. And yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. And I'll make this block on the live yet too. Boy, this looks like bark. It is. Like peel that off. Oh, I'll just cut it off. Yeah. Grind it off. down and work on them fins some. But I'm liking him. I think he's looking pretty good. I think these people that are supposed to get this don't know what they're in for, because none of the previous ones were this fat, for one. And they wanted something special, but they couldn't figure out what it was. And I couldn't come up with it for them. I mean, you know, I'm not psychic or anything like that, and I don't think anybody is, really, but whatever. But I'm going to cut them a little closer. I'm going to take a drink of that coffee real quick. Boy, I'll tell you, I got sweaty, though, in the face. It's just in the face. Well, at least it feels like it's just in the face. I'm sure it's everywhere. Dry this off. And feel like I got a lake running down my head. Hey, look at that guy. That's the guy with the waterfall on his face. All right, yeah, that's the one. All right, let's dig this out a little bit more. I think it's probably about out of fuel. Nah, it don't look like it. Back here is it's a little hard to get to. Well, I can push in. There's no screws here, so why not? Let's just do it. Now, I'm gonna have to go in considerably to try to dig that out. I'm not really interested in that so much, but I guess I can go ahead and do the needles, work them down. There's no reason not to. They look better. I just did that largemouth bass, and that's how I did it. I cut down in there, and it come out really good. I wonder if they're at a point where I could probably put that back here now. We got full sun on us. Let's do that. Or at least facing this way. Now that we got kind of a full sun. Partial. I don't know how long a full sun will last, because the leaves and everything on the trees and eventually catch up to it. Can you see that all right? Not really. The problem is I can't see the screen, so that's kind of not the best either, really. It'd just about be better off to take that thing and face it more that way. But it's just going to be, I think, such a contrast. I think I'd rather put it with the shadows myself. But all right, I'll start digging the needles down. this dude's ready for some sanding. And then I'm going to make that piece kind of after the fact, but I need a jaw vise to do it. So while I got down so low, and it'll be easy, I'm going to go ahead and sand the top of him, and then we'll get it back up. We'll see. It'd be kind of, this is kind of the boring part, I understand. I gotta change this disc out, it's wore out. I'm glad I bought a bunch of these. I still, looks like I still got 4 left. Because I've really been going through the flat discs here lately. That's just kind of the way it is. When I get done here, I'll show you guys what I got ready for clear coat so far, which is a bunch. And we have to have all this ready for this coming weekend, or Friday actually. So tomorrow I gotta be clear coating. So I gotta get, if I don't have it done today, it ain't getting done. At least not for the Pirate Festival we got next week. Okay, I can take these headphones off. I need to find my RZ mask, which I was using it in the house, or in the garage quite a bit. So I need to go get it. Let's see what we got here, or if I can even read it. No, I can't even really read it. I can see I've been on here for 58 minutes, and that's about it. I can see enough to see that y'all can see. How about that? All right, I'll be back. Actually, man, I just keep wanting to put this in the shadow somehow. It just, it's too intense. I'm gonna change it again. Don't get mad at me. Well, get mad at me. It's all right. I'm married. I know what that's like. Okay. Have somebody mad at you quite often. Okay. Let's see. You see it like that? Yeah, okay. That's not bad. All right. Let me find the RZ mask. I know it's in here. On one of these tables somewhere. Y'all see this mess? Like, man, you ever clean that? Well, heck, I made this mess. So you're going to see, I made this mess in one day. Stuff everywhere. But that's the way it goes. I got a lot of stuff. Ready to clear coat. Actually, I got enough stuff. If I just stopped where I'm at, we would be all right. The problem is, I got 2 parrots, and I've started on one, and the other one, which is the big one, hadn't even been started on yet. And I want to have them for this. So, I'll have to get them done today. A little bit more cord. You just work, you know, you work, you come home, you work, you'd be dead in the skeleton and you'd still be working. That's the way it is. That's what we're supposed to do. Anybody stops in and asks, just tell them I've been carving the whole time with this 4.5-inch angle grinder. They just tell them, yeah, he started Friday at noon. get in there with the finger sander back in here. Just a little too tight. All right, I want to raise that dude up. Yeah, I forgot the thing. Okay, let's do that. I get that one. get in there with the finger sander more, or even a burr, one of the two. But I'm gonna jack this dude up so I can get the bottom of it. Now, what am I got? I don't know what I'm doing. Let's see what we got here first. Can you even see that? See, to me, it's so grayed out, I can't hardly see it. All right, we got Baby Kisses, Carver and Wizard, Perry else in there too. I just can't see it. It's just life. Okay. All right, let's prop this thing, kick this thing back up, and take it out and lift it up a little bit more. I call this the boring part. Hopefully you guys can at least see it. Okay. I mean, it looks like it. It looks like it, but that is what it is, you know? Okay. Maybe I can cock it off to an angle. Like that, maybe. Try that. Let's see. Yeah, that ain't so bad, is it? Maybe. It depends. It depends on how much the right-handed guy gets in the way, right? We'll just keep moving. If I turn it the other way, it had too much sunshine on it. And I can always turn it like, I'm kind of back in this hole. It's still end up having too much sunshine on it. We'll see. How's that look? Yeah, it's kind of far away. But yeah, I don't know. I know it's cool. I know it's cool looking there. I like that. Okay. All right, yeah. Something along that line. Okay. I'll stay in this dude and start drawing a little bit more facial features in, lateral line, or certain things you just remember, you know, but I gotta try to sand this whole bottom down, clean this flat area up, and I gotta put that other piece on. that's all I can do with the flat disc. I might use it for some fins later, but I'm not really sure. Okay. Up next, it'll be the finger sander. Clean up what I can't reach with that. This thing does a pretty good job, but if I snap the belt off, it's the last one I had, so I'll be screwed. And I got the end of this month. But I need to carve it. It needs to dry. Same thing with the stand, although I may make the stand out of ash. I haven't made up my mind yet. And it's a little harder to shape, but that said, all I'm doing is shaping it and putting a groove in it to hold the fish, and then putting a flatter spot across it where I can carve the people's name in. And carving the name's pretty easy. But heck yeah, not too bad. Heck, 47 people watching for what I'm doing. Just sanding the fish, that's not bad. Hey, Susie Q, I think I seen you in there. All right, we can keep going. All right, I think I'm ready to draw some detail on this dude. There's some things it's just a no-brainer, like lateral line, and really like the scales. I wouldn't draw them in. I mean, honestly, there's just really nothing left to draw in. I know I got to do these fins to make them look good. I got to build this little block piece and peg it and glue it in there too. And then the eye. So, but there's some lines and on the head. And to get those lines on the head just right, I'm better off to dig them in. But anyhow, the lateral line, center of the fish. It can be ate up by the fin a little bit. So what it does is it comes in and it's right about there, just above this. So that kind of is what that is. That give me some kind of guide to follow with the bird. And then there's just more like lines and different stuff in the plating. And I'm gonna run in the house and get one and bring it out here. And that way I got something to look at. Getting nose holes right, all that kind of stuff. Take a drink of my coffee. And but I think he's looking pretty good. Can't complain. I'll tell you what, the people don't like him for whatever reason. I'll keep him. How about that? Let's see who else I got here. I see Roy, Baby Kisses, Carvin Wizard. What's going on? Rhinestone, Suzanne, Susie Q, and Grumpy. All right, Cheech. All right, I'll be back. You get a walleye carving or a mount real quick. Give me something accurate to look at. So every time I've done this in the past, I've done it looking at a picture. And so I'm glad I'm doing it this way because now I didn't make the mouth open so you wouldn't have this flare, but the gill pay be laying down flat and it don't need to be just that pronounced and like pointy and stuff. But that said, to get all this, the bone structure that goes through there, but try to capture a little bit of it, maybe. That makes sense. Right about there. And then also put a line through there. And I'll cut those in with a flat disc and the angle grinder. So looking at this would all be in a relaxed position, which is not in this. And they have teeth. I don't know if you guys ever noticed that or not, but they have teeth. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, you wonder if a walleye has to go to the dentist. You know, like an old one, I suppose a young one probably wouldn't, but the eye. Remember I said the eyes are on top of the head? They are on top of the head. And it's also got, well, that only flared out because the mouth's flared out. So I think I'm going to move the eye up a little bit from what I was initially going for. And I'll dig like a little platform out for it. It would have that little platform, so put X on that. And then they got some bone structure, some visible bone structure running down their nose. And then the nose holes are right in front of the eyes. So, and it's like a double hole, really. A hole there, and another hole there, right in front of the eyes. And really, is there any other detail I can capture? This can come into a C, like that. Yeah, and then, I mean, it's wood carving, you know what I mean? This is, but I'll still try to do the best I can. I should cut this down quite a bit. I'll leave that back one alone, since it's kind of like out there in the middle of nowhere. But this needs to come down like about like to that. Quite a bit. And it could come down more, but I still got to have something to attach it. So I'll use a saw first, chainsaw first, cut this out, thin this down a little bit more. And then, okay, let's do that. A little bit of time. Nothing like going and getting a real mount. And maybe next time I will do one with the mouth open. But if I did, I don't know that I'd want to sell it, you know? I probably like it too much. Okay, ear muffs. That's the hard thing about a lot of stuff is you don't want to get rid of it. You know, it's like, man, I mean, and that's why I got into chainsaw carving in the first place. Is I wanted to make them for myself. I taught myself taxidermy, how to do deer heads and ducks and stuff like that too. So there we go. All right. Because I wanted them. You know, it didn't have anything else. It didn't have anything to do with selling them. And I guess it's just natural progression. Where in the heck did I put my... I knew they're here. Just concentrate on them. Where did you put them? My ear protection. I know it was here, and I took it off and threw it on something. And I mean, here's the heck of it. It's really nice in here. Like there's hardly anything in here. Here they are. I threw them in the electrical toolbox. Go figure. I put them away. Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty close. I don't know. It ought to have enough to do that. Screw it. I'll get another saw. Which this Neotech is supposed to be a MS-180 equivalent. It's lighter anyway. Let's see how that sands up. Take the headphones back off, put the RZ mask back on. Maybe they need to come out with a headphone RZ mask combination that, you know, you want your ears to cool down, it lifts off your ears, and you want to be able to walk around and talk with that mask on, the mask lifts off your face, and you know, also like be nice to have like lightning bolts and rockets shoot out of your fingertips. That'd be cool too. Okay, that's all I can do with that, huh? On that right here. But I'll get everything else done because that piece will have to be doweled in 2 dowels and glued in and let it dry for 2 days, which I ain't gonna be messing with till next week sometime anyway. I got too many other things going on. It was good timing though. I was done with it, so it is what it is. It didn't break it; it just popped it. That's the heck of a finger sander. I'm a little too impatient to maintain one, so I'm always doing something. So I guess I'm gonna pull that lateral line next And now I can flat disc this stuff out first. Let's do that. And then we'll have to go to a pointy burr. But I want to scale this thing and get the fins done, all that stuff. So this is done. Or as done as it can be. Mm-hmm. Alright, I want to look for, actually, yeah. I forgot that needs belt sanded, and I mean, bad. Like, I can't leave it like that, so I'm going to have to fix that belt sand, put the belt back on and clean that up. Just can't leave it like that. It would look like garbage. Do all that work and try to make it neat and leave that one thing all rough and sandy, screwed up looking. Heck yeah, let's see who all we got in here. I can't really read it. I can see Matthew, Perry, the carving wizard. Heck yeah, I can see y'all in there. It looks like Roy's Timber Art Techniques. I can see you guys in there. Okay, I'm gonna pull this lateral line in there first with this pointy burr. But really, I'm at the point I can drill an eye. So I'll put a plastic eye in here. I can drill that eye, and yeah, there's a lot of stuff I can do. Fun stuff. Bring the detail out. else to clean that up. Check my battery out here. Oh yeah, we're good there. Heck yeah. Okay. All right. So can y'all really see that though? I mean, my sunglasses are my glasses just turn colors, you know, and I can't see. I can't see what the heck's going on in there. All right. I gotta put the belt back on the belt sander to get that other piece in, and then I could scale this dude really. I mean, other than that, he's looking pretty good. Fins and scales. I think I'll do the fins first. Heck yeah. You guys went to the coffee shop?
Yeah.
Yeah?
They were doing this deal.
Huh?
They were doing this deal.
A what?
They were doing a deal. If you buy 2 drinks, then you get a koozie.
Oh, that's cool.
So Mom bought 4.
4 drinks so she could get 2 koozies? Okay, that's cool.
Isn't it cute?
Hey, fancy. What's that say?
Cultivate kindness.
Cultivate kindness? They didn't have anything that said go to hell or anything like that? That's good. That's probably better, you know? I mean, keeps people from killing each other in the drive-thru line, right? Okay. Anyway, just thinking outside the box. Yeah. Right? Okay. Yeah. All right. You just never know in this day and age, you know? You know? I wouldn't mind to say, pound it. Quit blowing your horn for it. No. There's all kinds of options that could go with that. Yeah. Oh well. Pretty fun. Let's see. Maybe I can get this back in right. Okay. Oh, I had it. There we go. I still got it. I just got this top piece in between these 2 fins up here. That armor fin and whatever you call them, you know. Left fin and the right fin. Fin and his brother fin, you know. The fin tones. Okay. Clean that up. And I think I'll go ahead and pull the fin lines up. That's the fun part. That's when you really see the thing come alive, is once he starts to get the fins and the scales. You know, it's getting pretty close to being there. Yeah. So before I do, I want to take this back in the shadow even more. It's just really bright out here, and that's the way it goes. And it's funny, I gotta tell you, it's funny how when the saw stops on a chainsaw carving, when the saw stops, not as many people is interested, and you can't blame them, you know. I mean, the fun part of seeing the chainsaw run. When you're flex shaft carving, though, it's a totally different story. You know, people really like it. Hey, somebody give me $2. That's pretty nice of them. Heck yeah, it's probably Perry or Baby Kisses. Let's see. Mean Green, what's going on, man? Heck yeah, the grandpa, yeah, with the international Steffi Sally. Oh yeah, hey Mean Green, I hate to hear that. Yeah, Zach still has his. But yeah, Mean Green, I hate to hear your grandpa pass away. Know this though, John 5:28-29. Mean Green, know this, because this is a comforting scripture for us, so that we have hope beyond their life that they lived, okay? John chapter 5, verse 28 and 29. It says, do not be amazed at this. The hour is coming when all those in the memorial tombs will hear his voice and come out. Those that did good things to a resurrection of life, those that did vile things to a resurrection of judgment. And I'm pretty sure that your grandpa, he probably wasn't a vile person. And so, sorry about your loss. There is hope for him, though, I'll tell you. Okay, let's fin this baby. Let's see. What else we got here real quick? I'm just getting a little better where I can see it. All right, yeah. Raja, what's going on? Heck yeah. All right, hello, Raja. All right. Okay, I'm gonna pull some lines. I think my visual might be a little better, but my glasses, I don't know. I can't tell you for sure. It's just really dark. So these go up, straight up. Oh, that's great. Now this one here, they go in a curve. All right, so there's that one. This one's straight across. See, you see that? Yeah, it's me. I'm the only one that can't see it. Yeah, clean that up, man. That's rough. How that come out? The green. I mean, did you too much trash? That's wet enough that, especially on this outer, because it's pretty much an outer edge. That's wet enough. I probably shouldn't even hit it with a torch. Let's see. Can you see the tail? There you go. Okay, I'm gonna do the tail next. How long have we been on here? 110 on almost 2 hours. Getting close. Okay, pull these tail fins in. Yeah, I think I'll at least scale him. That's the times I got done. And I could clean this up more. Okay. right. That's looking pretty good. Other than I got to do that. Let me drill my eye hole in. That'd be a good thing to do next. So go ahead and drill that eye hole in. And I'm wondering if I ought to use the bigger one. They're pretty big. Their eyes are pretty big. I think I'll stick with the little one. I think so. I'm going to use up all my plastic eyes. I got a ton of them. Let's see. That's about the same. I don't know. I could do 3/4. Because you got to take, on a walleye eye, they're like a, I don't know. Let's put this bit up here and see if that just feels right. Yeah, I think so. But they look glazed over. And so one thing I've done to try to capture that is taking a clear silicone and put it over a black eye. And it seems to work all right. And even in a brown eye, it seems to work all right. Let's see, is that good? Yeah. I want that eye to be popped up, so I'm not going to go very deep. Just enough. Man, sucks getting old. That cracks me up though. I'm around some other people my age, and I might complain about aching a little bit, and they're like, "How old are you again?" I'm like, 49 and a half. Oh, I thought you were younger than that. I was gonna say, what are you complaining about? Like, yeah, you only got me by a year or two. Yeah. So I guess I'm fortunate in that perspective if people think I'm younger than I am. No. Okay. Scales time. Once I get the scales on it, I'll have to make that piece. I'll need the jaw vise and all that. So I'll do the scales and then I'll glue this piece on and come back to that later. You know what I mean? Or I'm probably, it ain't gonna be in the live anyway. But all right, let's see who we got here real quick. I'm trying to see it. I see Perry, Baby Kisses. Heck yeah, I see Cheech. Yeah, that's okay. All right, guys. What am I doing again? I'm scaling. Okay. Yeah, that's the way it goes. Sometimes you're dumb, you forget. So where's that? Here it is. I still had this thing out, and I scaled something else the other day. But what I made, all that bass, that big bass, that 5-foot bass. I want to show you guys that. Once I scale this, I'll be done with it on the live for today, and I'll just show you guys this stuff over in the corner. If it's not too dark, we'll find out. Let's see, because all I got is incandescent light bulbs in there, and that's where the garage door is at, so there is no light directly over where the carvings are at. I think before I start, you always just start at the bottom with this long stretch. I'm gonna grab a chair because I'm gonna be bending over. I'm not gonna be very comfortable. And I got one right here, so it's not like I have to get very far to get it. Same little desk chair. It's a cheap computer desk chair that I use when I live stream FlexShaft car. And I might do that. I might live stream FlexShaft car or something. I don't know yet. We'll see. That's all right. I guess I'm going to move over here and make sure I haven't froze up or nothing. That looks pretty good. All right, cool. It's going pretty good. Hey, I think I seen John in there. Yeah, hey, John. What's going on? Glad to see you. And apologize, guys. It's hard for me to see that screen right now. I don't know if it goes in a different mode because of light or what the deal is. I don't know. But I got to be more accurate on the top side. So go ahead and get her done. I have most of the hard work done. And then I'll make that fin off after I stop the live, I'll make that fin and get it glued on. That way I can come back next week and finish this thing. I'm gonna lower that down to finish this last. It was getting kind of hard to do that, and I thought I'm gonna do a better job if I drop it down. Oh, there we go. See if I can't pinch. Well, I know I can get that. It'd be better if it was on this side. There. There we go. Something like that, right? Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, you can still see him. Yeah, okay. Looky there. That thing looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with him. But really, that's it. Once I get these scales on, um, until I get that other fin piece made. All right. So let's see what we get out here. I'll pick this thing back up. Okay. Yeah, realistically, that fin, that's all I got left. To finish that fin and carve the fin. And there we go. Okay. Yeah. Rod popped out. Great. There we go. There we go. Okay. Now let me get back here and do this thing a little better. See what we got. So, it kind of gives you an idea what he's looking like. And he could probably stand to be a little thinner to you there. I don't think he looks that bad though. I mean, all in all, you can tell what it is. Anybody that knows what walleyes are would be able to tell. But in the end, I just kind of made the head's a little thick. I don't know. But all in all, I think it looks pretty daggone good. I don't know. I know I'm happy with him. How about that? Hey, John, baby kisses. LJ, what's going on, man? Heck yeah, you got to do that yard work, that's for sure. That's what we got. We've been carving a walleye and be part of a piece that sits in a 44-inch base that looked like a dead tree, and then I have these people's last name on it. But anyway, that's what we got. And whoever gave me the $2, thanks for that too. Hey, Matthew, heck yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing with that, you know, trying to sit and stand more so, or sit in a chair more so I don't hurt myself so much. Hey, I appreciate that, LJ. He's good beer. Who's good beer? I don't know. I wonder who you're talking about. Baby kisses. Who's good beer? Okay. I think she meant bearer. But good deal. I appreciate you guys being here. Heck yeah. So I may come back and flex shaft carve this afternoon. Not really sure. Just have to see how the day goes. Look at that. You know, like that's my dandruff's been really bad. You know, it's kind of the way it is. I have to go in here and get some of that. What was that stuff? Head and Shoulders. Yeah, I have to get some of that and start using it on that. Yeah, I knew baby kisses. I was just messing with you. But anyway, that's what we got, guys. I appreciate you guys being here. And like I said, I got oh, I told you I would show you the fish. Yeah, or not the fish, all the carvings that I got done, didn't I? Man, don't want to lie. You guys, some of y'all probably like 2 or 3 of you been like, yeah, man, you said you were going to do it. Heck yeah, Matthew, beer battered walleye. I think I got 3 bags in here. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys what I got done so far. Oh, the lighting is good. So there's an owl behind there. I got stuff kind of behind stuff and everything else. There's that piece I did just the other day. There's the big bass, little bass, and little sign says surrender to booty. I didn't show you that. But there's some stuff in here that I think come out really cool. There's the end on the bennies and the flag. You guys get it, you know, I made most of the stuff you guys were watching, you know. I mean, almost everything here. But this little guy, remember this little guy, you know? By the time we painted him, the eyes on him and stuff. Yeah, yeah, I agree, Matthew. That thing, I mean, I don't even want to sell it. I hope it don't sell. I'll hang it up in the shanty. But anyway, so we went through and did some eyes on these guys last night, getting everything ready to sell, painted up, and just makes them look so much better. You know, like something I learned about the eyes. The more white you add to give the eyeballs, you know, I mean, kind of a circular, the better they come out. And that stuff in the back, like the fox, they'll get plastic eyes. But other than that, you know, them little bears, same thing, plastic eyes. But anyway, so the pirate, let me walk around here. I got a heck of a mess. And I mean, I got stuff laying everywhere in here. It's just a mess, but we'll get it done. Because that's how I spent all pretty much from about 1:30 to 10 o'clock last night. I was working on this stuff. But there's a shark. And this is a walleye I already had. But I redid him and less brown or less green and more brown. And I think he come out pretty good. But the mahi, I wonder if I can move this dude. I love this mahi, man. Oh, I'll get that thing out of the way. Okay. I love that thing. That's pretty awesome. And it's 5 foot. It's like the bass. It's really cool. And the colors on that, it's just fantastic. But I think my favorite thing here is between this bass and this guy. And he come out pretty good. When I make that last week or the week before, I can't really remember. I just know I like him. You know, he looks pretty good. Pretty happy with him. I know I did that bird last week. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. But that's what I got ready, which is, or we're ready for clear coat anyway. Oh, the eagle. He's almost done. He's got to have some eye detail painted in and all that. But yeah. Anyway, he's pretty cool looking. But that's what we got. Good bit of work going on here, so I'm going to continue to work on this stuff. I just wanted to get that walleye started, so I did a carving live stream, and the way it goes, you know. But hey, I appreciate y'all being here. Appreciate you guys hitting the likes. I think we did pretty good this morning on the first half. Everybody likes to watch the chainsaw carving, but once you get the 4.5-inch angle grinder, they don't care so much. But you guys do because you're real fans. All right, appreciate it, Cheech. All right, we'll leave you guys alone, Perry. Baby kisses. Glad to have you guys here, Matthew. All right, and maybe we'll catch you guys this afternoon. Come back when you can stay.